Hebrews, Hebrews, Hebrews. This is Prophets of Awakening. This is our Ask Brother segment for the night. We're going to combine the two with the Advanced Women's Bible Study for tomorrow night because I got something that came up I got to do tomorrow night. So I'm combining the two tonight, 23rd of February, 2022. My topic for discussion later on in class will be uh, um, chapter 1 of Judges after the death of Joshua and what came about. I'm going to shine light on that. So I'm asking everybody to like, share, and subscribe to the Prophets of Awakening channel and hit the notification button if you can. This is a non-Messianic channel. We deal with the Tanakh and the Torah. Tanakh is the Old Testament, the so-called Book of Remembrance, and the Torah is the first 5 books of the Bible that was given to Moses on Mount Sinai by the Lord of Hosts, our Redeemer. Shalom and welcome everyone to Prophets of Awakening channel, and welcome to our Ask Brother Leonard class. So with that being said, I was going to do my moment of silence and Psalms, prayer, the Psalms, and then the current events and need to know information, and then we do our Q&A, Ask Brother Leonard part, and then we go into our topic. So this moment of silence is for the Lord of Hosts and for Yahweh and all that they're doing to bring about our deliverance from this land of our captivity. O Lord, righteousness and uprightness belongeth unto thee. Therefore we come before thee at this hour, seeking thy face and looking for righteousness and uprightness, that we may walk before thee as our servants David and Solomon and Samuel and Hezekiah did, that we may walk before thee in truth and in righteousness and in rightness of heart. Give unto us, O Lord, an understanding heart, that we may discern between good and bad, for you possess the power to turn us, O Lord. For we desire to walk after thee, O Lord, keep your commandments and your testimony, your statutes with all our heart and soul, and to perform the words of the covenant that was written down by your prophets. O Lord, allow thy face to shine upon thy people. Hear our plea, hear and do, O Lord. Hide not thy face from us, for we need you so very much at this hour. Peace be unto you. Okay. So with that being said, we're gonna read the Psalms, and then we'll talk about it.
Yes, shalom. I'm going to read Psalm 115.
Okay.
Psalm 115. Not unto us, O Lord, not unto us, but unto thy name give glory, for thy mercy and for thy truth's sake. Wherefore should the heathen say, where is now their God? But our God is in the heavens. He hath done whatsoever he hath pleased. Their idols are silver and gold, the works of men's hands. They have mouths, but they speak not. Eyes have they, but they see not. They have ears, but they hear not. Noses have they, but they smell not. They have hands, but but thy hand no, but they handle not. Feet have they, but they walk not. Neither speak they through their throat. 8. They that make them are like unto them. So is everyone that trusteth in them. O Israel, trust thou in the Lord. He is their help and their shield. O house of Aaron, trust in the Lord. He is their help and their shield. Ye that fear the Lord, trust in the Lord. He is their help and their shield. The Lord hath been mindful of us. He will bless us. He will bless the house of Israel. He will bless the house of Aaron. He will bless them that fear the Lord, both small and great. The Lord shall increase you more and more, you and your children. Ye are blessed of the Lord which had made heaven and earth. Even the heavens are the Lord's, but the earth hath he given to the children of men. The dead praise not the Lord, neither any that go down into silence. 18. But we will bless the Lord from this time forth and forevermore. Praise the Lord. That was Psalm
Okay.
115.
Okay. Okay. There's some. Any comments on that?
I would like to make a comment of verse 4 through 8 concerning the idols. That's, letting you know that the idols cannot do anything. They can't hear, they can't see, they can't touch, they can't smell, nothing.
Right.
Yes.
Right. So it's an insult to try to praise them and lift them up and worship them.
When they can't do anything.
Like it's lack of understanding.
Right, right. So if they can't do any of that, they can't do anything for you.
Right. Exactly. Okay. So with that being said, I got a little women's health video I'm gonna play. Okay. Can you see that?
Yes.
Hey everybody, I'm Corey Murray, Deputy Editor of Essence Magazine. I hope you all enjoying the Beauty Carnival weekend as much as I am. Here at Essence Festival of Culture, presented by Coca-Cola.
Okay. Mm.
Deputy Editor of Essence Magazine. I hope you all enjoying the Beauty Carnival weekend as much as I am. Here at Essence Festival of Culture, presented by Coca-Cola, we've talked a lot about inner and outer beauty, and our crown is a huge part of it. It's always a topic of discussion, whether it's about caring for our natural hair or debating the politics and policies of Black women's and Black men's hair. Our coils, waves, locks, and curls have been going through it. So we're here to get into this conversation about what it means to care for your hair and how stress can impact your crown. So please give a warm welcome to Demetria Lipkis, P&G scientist, Dr. Rolanda Wilkerson, and Chiquita White. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
So, Demetria, this first question is for you because A, I know you and I love you and I used to work with you. And I've been watching you transition from the page to the stage, if you will. So our main, and especially yours, and those beautiful ads that we're seeing for you for the Pantene Gold series, I'm curious how you, and an extension of your inner and outer beauty, how you feel about that daily, and how does that relationship with your hair influence how you show up in a room, especially those Hollywood rooms you're in right now?
Yeah, well, I'm very fortunate that I've had this sort of signature look. It changes from time to time. So when I show up in the Hollywood rooms, they know what they're getting. But I think it's important important to say that I have a really great relationship with my hair, but it's one that's been built over time. Like I've been natural off and on for about 20 years now. I went natural for the first time in high school, and it was a very bumpy, rocky relationship in the beginning, but over time I've learned to work with my hair, embrace my hair, as opposed to working against it, and we have a much more healthy and loving relationship at this point.
Dr. Wilkerson, can you tell me about it? Because I'm curious, both Dimitri and I are in creative fields. You're in the corporate role and science. How do you show up in the room as showing your inner and outer beauty?
For me, hair is very important. Not only does it help express our beauty, but it is also what we work on from a research perspective. I'll have to say I've been natural for about 13 years, and my hair journey has been most of my life. I was relaxed. And so for me, as I came into working into hair care, that's when I really began to love and embrace and express my hair through my natural journey and also through working on Gold Series. It's been an amazing journey, and I wouldn't look back. I love to be able to go from curls out, blow out if I want to, twist out if I want to. So it gives us a chance to rock our hair in so many different ways and to embrace it.
Chiquita, how do you show up in a room?
Well, I show up like you see me now. Most of the time, most of my life, I've been natural. I had an experience in college where I tried to do what everybody else did, and that didn't work out so good for me. So I was natural, mostly with straightening my hair for many years. And then actually the pandemic helped me do curls much more frequently.
Well, thankfully, the Gold Series from Pantene was made by Black PhD and scientists like Dr. Rolanda and Chiquita White. And they understand the unique needs of textured hair, and that's pretty special. How would having such a wide and custom range of hair products would have changed your relationship with your hair growing up?
Well, I will say that when I was in college, the reason why I hadn't taken care of my hair myself before going to college. And when I went to college and I was faced with doing that, there weren't products for me in the grocery stores that were near me. And having a wide range of products like Gold Series that's readily available in most places where you shop would have helped me a lot be able to take care of my hair. And there's a large enough range, and regardless of how you want to wear your hair, we have products to take care of that. And so that would have helped me immensely.
I 100% agree with Chiquita. As I mentioned, when my grandmother took me to the hair store, the hair supply store to try to find products for me, there obviously was not a lot of selection available for us to care for our hair. Now we have that. And the big push for having that is because we've lived through it, right? We've lived through needing it and wanting it. And so now we have that available, and we have a passionate team of scientists and engineers behind it. We're making sure that we're delivering that for us.
Yeah, I mean, when I first went natural, I was using products that were not made for anyone with my melanin or anyone definitely with my hair type. My hair was hard and flaky. I'd run my fingers in it and it would flake like dandruff or something, but it was really just like hard gel falling out of my hair. My hair was a hot mess. It would have made a world of difference if I had options specifically for my texture of hair.
Same. I think I used Sun-In and mousse in my hair, thinking because I went to a mixed school, but the white girls I were hanging with, that's what they were using. So I came home and used that, and my mother was like, "You cannot put those products on your hair, not on your dry hair." But that's a whole other story. We won't go there. Which leads to this next question, though. A good segue in. We know that combating breakage is an important step in retaining hair length. So how does the Gold Series factor that in, and what role does stress play in all of this?
So I'll speak to this a little bit. I mentioned earlier, breakage is one of the big reasons why many of us don't see that length. Our hair grows a little bit slower ethnically than others, but it still grows. So we don't want to say that our hair doesn't grow. The important part about our hair is because it's coily, and at each twist and bend, there's an uplift of cuticles. It's inherently drier than naturally straight hair. Because of that, It needs moisture, it needs protection, it needs that slip, it needs to have that elasticity when we're running our fingers through our hair. So this is why we designed our lineup to be able to deliver that so that she can and he can realize the length in the hair. And you won't have to say it's not growing. You can realize that length because you're taking care of it. It's not breaking from the tips, it's not breaking from the roots because it's moisturized and protected. The other piece is making sure that you have the right ingredients that can penetrate into the hair to protect it from the inside out.
As Dr. Roland is talking, I'm thinking about the fact she's talking specifically about your hair strands, but what about the scalp? Can you prevent breakage from the scalp?
Yeah, well, I think you can prevent breakage from the scalp. That starts a lot with your nutrition. Are you hydrating your body? Are you drinking water regularly? So if you have a healthy scalp, that's going to lead to healthier hair. So I would definitely say that plays a part of it. And also, as you're going through your process, I think through every step, you have to use the tools that Dr. Rolanda talked about. So when you're shampooing your hair, I would say never shampoo your hair without a conditioner because you want to have the right slip. And we have our Moisture Boost conditioner, which, you know, to me, it's like even when my hair is the most tangled, it's like cutting butter, you know, slicing butter with a hot knife. I could just comb straight through my hair. And that wasn't always the case without that product. So that's something that I can do in the shower when I didn't always detangle my hair in the shower. If you're going to wait until after the shower to detangle your hair,
Okay. Okay. We having some internet with outside. I don't know what it is. It's the weather. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead. Anybody got any comments on that?
There's a lot of great information in that video because a lot more of us are going natural. So,
Right.
and then too, you just have to find, you know, which products work best for you. I know I went through quite a few, and some products can weigh your hair down, you know, and make it feel really heavy and greasy. So you have to find that product that, you know, works for you.
Right. Yeah, they got this line right here. Is, what they was talking about is it's a revolution curl presented by Penitent Gold. That's the name of the line. Well, you want to check it out. The name of the video is Black Hair Matters, the Revolution of Curls, presented by Penitent Gold. Okay, so with that being said, I'm going to some current events. Mm-hmm.
Was from the Manhattan District Attorney. NBC News. Again, listen, this is all coming in the last couple minutes, has confirmed that 2 top prosecutors have resigned from that office. A spokesperson for the office says the investigation is ongoing. We are grateful for their service, not commenting further. Let me bring in our investigative correspondent, Tom Winter, who has been all over this story from the start. So Tom, MSNBC legal analyst Danny Savalos is joining us too. Tom. 2 top prosecutors stepping down, it seems, rather abruptly, even as there are discussions that have been happening, you know, related to the investigation very actively. What is going on here?
Right. So a couple of different things, Hallie. First off, the prosecutors Carrie Dunn and Mark Pomerantz, important to this investigation for two different reasons. First off, Carrie Dunn has been a part of this investigation for some time. He's the attorney, part of a team, but really the person who shepherded this case through the Supreme Court when it came time to try to fight for, and you remember because we've talked about it often, the subpoena over getting Trump's tax returns and tax documents from his tax preparer, Mazars USA. They were able to win twice in the Supreme Court, largely on Dunn's shoulders. So he's been an important part of this. And then last summer, in July, when Alan Weisselberg, the former CFO, was charged, then the current CFO, as well as the Trump Organization, he was the one who presented charges in court. He was about 20 feet in front of me when he delivered a kind of a blistering open to his case, detailing what Weisselberg, the person who you're looking at on screen, as well as the Trump Organization allegedly did and why they were bringing the charges. So Dunn's been a big part of this picture for a while. As far as Pomerantz, he was hired out of private practice, a former prosecutor himself, somebody who had really steeped in his knowledge of complex tax and financial cases, as well as white-collar fraud-type cases. He's somebody we've previously reported who was involved with interviewing some of the key witnesses in this case, so somebody who's conducting a lot of the questioning of this. People might be wondering where is all this going to go. So over the past, I would say 2 months, things have been quite quiet in this investigation. Towards the end of the year, there was a flurry of activity. We were told, it was reported at the time, involving the grand jury. We had actually a reporter had come public that he was called before the grand jury. So that happened at the end of the year. Now, we had a new district attorney come in, Alvin Bragg, former federal prosecutor. It's normal, and I and other reporters didn't blink twice when there were several weeks where things were fairly quiet in this, because of course you've got a new person who's captaining this investigation, obviously wants to get up to speed, figure out what's going on. That makes sense. However, over the last month, there's been crickets as far as new steps in this investigation, additional people being called before the grand jury, anybody receiving a subpoena. We typically hear about that through the rumor mill and have tracked that down, and we've talked about those steps in this investigation before. So a couple of different things. We'll have to piece it together and do more reporting about what they mean. But the two top people who are handling this investigation, the only criminal investigation that we know about involving the president's finances and directly involving his company, are out, and this investigation has been quiet for at least a month.
Get that song? All of a sudden. Okay.
An important role in geopolitics. World leaders must dive into history. They must learn lessons from the past. If not, they will fail. Case in point, Joe Biden. He had so much history to learn from. In 2008, NATO held its famous Bucharest summit. Ukraine and Georgia were touted as possible members. Months later, Putin attacked Georgia. In November 2013, the Euromaidan protests erupted in Ukraine. By March next year, Putin annexed Crimea. Biden had a front row seat to all of this. He was Obama's running mate during Georgia, 2008. He was vice president during Crimea, 2014. And he's president during Donbass, 2022. Once again, Joe Biden's foreign policy chops have failed. I guess experience does not guarantee success. Many are calling this Biden's Chamberlain moment. What does that mean? Neville Chamberlain was Britain's prime minister from 1937 to 1940. What is his claim to fame? That he was fooled by Adolf Hitler. In 1938, Chamberlain signed a peace deal with Hitler. Germany could invade Sudetenland, but no more. Chamberlain thought he had succeeded. He claimed to have created what he called peace in our times. Well, he was wrong. The very next year, Hitler invaded Poland and World War II broke out. Biden may not be striking deals with Putin, but he's falling for the same trap. He's weighing expansionism on a scale. How much expansionism is fine? How much is not? And this strategy is counterproductive. Republican lawmakers in the US are already worried. They say if Russia is not punished, another US ally, Taiwan, could be next.
China is making the same type claims against an island called Taiwan. For years and decades, the United States has been helping Taiwan maintain its independence and its democracy. China has been very threatening. If we allow Russia to get away with destroying the Ukraine, it's just a matter of time that China takes over Taiwan.
The public is also turning on him. Joe Biden's latest approval ratings are out. 40% of the Americans do not approve of his, 40% of Americans, in fact, approve of his foreign policy. Only 36% approve of his Russia policy. Now, at first glance, this may look okay, because most US presidents hover around the 40% mark. But remember, this is Russia, America's favorite villain. Ideally, there should be public support for action against Putin, whether it's troops, sanctions, or just plain posturing, but not for Joe Biden. His handling of the Ukraine crisis has made things worse. Let me give you an example. On January 19th, Biden was addressing the media. He was talking about America's response if Putin invades. Listen closely to what he said.
Russia will be held accountable if it invades. And it depends on what it does. It's one thing if it's a minor incursion and then we end up having to fight about what to do and not do, etc.
That was a dead giveaway. Biden basically said there would be two responses, one for an all-out invasion and another for a so-called minor incursion. Now, that may have been the plan, but as a politician, you're not supposed to reveal all of it. If you do, you're helping the enemy. And that's what Biden did. A couple of days later, the White House clarified his remarks. They said, if any Russian units cross over, it would be an invasion. But it was too late. Putin had heard what he wanted to hear. A minor incursion would only have minor sanctions. So Russia did exactly that. They organized a minor incursion into eastern Ukraine. The fact is, Biden was out of his depth. He tried talks, he tried threats, he tried rallying allies, he tried sanctions. Maybe the idea was to cover all bases, but in reality, Biden looked confused. And it's not like he did not have the means. You see, each conflict has multiple phases, and each phase plays out differently. In December last year, Putin had the upper hand. Yes, he did. Towards January end, the momentum had shifted. Putin looked stuck. That was the moment for Biden to drive home the advantage, maybe offer new terms to Putin or announce a few economic sanctions. Instead, Joe Biden fumbled. He talked about minor incursions. He ordered embassy staff to relocate. He asked Americans to leave Ukraine. All of this sent the wrong signal. And in February, Biden turned to war hysteria. This sort of confused messaging can be fatal in politics. Instead of a united and firm policy, Joe Biden opted for trial and error. His actions came too late, like Obama's sanctions in 2014 were ineffective. So too will Biden's in 2022. Leon is
Okay. Any comments on that? Okay. I got a little need to know information. I've been talking about this, but I hadn't, when I saw this right here, I figured I can use this to further my case on what I've been saying about it. So let me get it right here. There's some need to know information. About England's past, Great Britain. Okay. So the name of it is How Was England Formed? So we're gonna go back and play it and break it down.
The existence of England is one that is often taken for granted and looked at far too scarcely. This may be due to the overshadowing history of the development of Great Britain and the United Kingdom. But nonetheless, In order for these unions to be formed, England had to already exist, and it actually has since 927 AD. So how was England created? Who claimed the land before the English, and how did it become the nation that we know today? As the Roman Empire began to fade from the British Isles, the area of modern-day England started to see a wave of migration from Anglo-Saxon Germanic tribes. According to some historians,
when you say Anglo-Saxon, that's Isaac's sons. That's what they mean, Isaac's sons. And like I told you, it's two Israels. That's where these so-called Bible scholars are all them not understanding. It's two Israels you're dealing with. You're dealing with a fake Israel, and you're dealing with the real Israelites. And I showed you how that the about 70 AD, when that Israel wasn't ran out of the land in 70 AD, they had already left. It was the fake Israel, Obadiah tells you. And they came in and stole the land when Israel was ran out, and back in 143, when Antiochus Epiphanes came. He drove the Israelites out. They went into Africa. And they've been there ever since. And Judah was brought over here. Judah, Benjamin, and Levi was brought over here, was scattered amongst the whole world. They was the head. And so Esau came into the land and stole the land. They lived there until 70 AD. That's how you get the two Israelites, two people who's calling themselves Israel. Both of them occupied the land. Israel occupied at one time or another. And so when they was kicked out, this is one of the areas they came to right here. That's who the Saxons are. Like I said, the Isaac sons. So they came to this right here, this land right here. We're going to go into it as it goes.
After the Romans left, the native Britons came under attack from the nearby Picts and Scots, and subsequently welcomed some of these Anglo-Saxons in hopes that they would push out the other invaders. The Germanic peoples were successful in expelling both the Scots and Picts, but they then turned on the native Britons and established their own authority by the start.
Just like Esau, he came in like he was a savior to help those other people. But he turned on the people the native people that lived there. He turned on them, and they took that land. They took this land right here. This is Esau, which is the Israelites now. They posing that down in the skies as Israelites. But I'm gonna show you something right here, right quick. We know right now, Queen Elizabeth and all them, they got all these different dukes, dukes this and dukes that and duke this and that, right? So let's go to the Bible right quick. So when you go to Genesis chapter 38, you got to go to, let me see, chapter 36. 36 of Genesis. Then you get down here to verse 15. It says, I'm going to read 14. It says, these were the sons of Adamah, the daughter of Anu, the daughter of Zebulun, Esau's wife. And she bore Esau Jehush, Jabal, Korah, Korah. Then 15. These were the dukes. See that? These are the dukes of the sons of Esau, the son of Eliphaz, the firstborn of them. Duke Timon, Duke Omar, these dukes. That's exactly what's here. They under the guise as Isaac's sons, but their giveaway is right here. They dukes. Now that's what's in no other place on the planet got these dukes except right here, Great Britain. That's your dead giveaway right here. So let's see. And like I said, they didn't hid themselves out of history. But if you know what's going on in
starts of the 7th century, the new Anglo-Saxon rulers then installed the kingdoms of Essex, Kent, Sussex, Mercia, East Anglia, Northumbria, and Wessex on the British mainland. There are minimal records.
So you got Duke of Wessex, Duke of Mercia, all these names right here. You got Dukes over there.
what happened over the next few centuries throughout these kingdoms, but we do know that it wouldn't be long before the Anglo-Saxons would face invaders of their own. In 793, a Viking army landed at the Lindisfarne Monastery and raided the sacred building. Their violence and disrespect stunned the Anglo-Saxons, who were unprepared for what these Vikings had in store. By the end of 870, East Anglia fell to the Danish invaders, and Mercia was lost only 4 years later. As the Vikings seized Northumbria next in 875, Wessex was the only remaining major kingdom under Anglo-Saxon authority. When the current king of Wessex, Ethelred, died, his younger brother Alfred was left to protect his kingdom's independence. At first, he did so by paying off the Viking aggressors, until he was eventually prepared to lead an army against them. This culminated in the Battle of Edington, which left the Danes utterly routed and ended their attempts to capture Wessex. A power vacuum in Mercia around the same time resulted in King Alfred also gaining control of the kingdom, and instead of establishing a new monarch, he placed an alderman in charge. This nobleman would answer to King Alfred himself and kept the King of Wessex as the ultimate authority.
You see all these King Alfred, King Elman, King James, all of them, the Edomites. And this is what so many Israelites going wrong here.
Throughout both regions, although parts of Mercia would be ceded to the Vikings. After the death of the King of Wessex and the contemporary leader of Mercia in 911, Edward the Elder and Ethelfled each became the respective successors. Together, these new rulers began to increase the pressure that had already been put on the neighboring Danelaw. In 917, Ethelfled expanded her lands to the north, and Edward was able to incorporate all of East Anglia into his kingdom. As Ethelfled pushed forward with the expansion, she managed to extend Mercian territory all the way up to York, where the locals decided it would be best to simply pledge loyalty to her as opposed to fighting. Although Ethelfled shortly died, her daughter, Elfwin, was supposed to take her place and continue on the current course. Unexpectedly, though, the Mercian people quickly ousted their new leader and accidentally created the perfect opportunity for King Edward from Wessex to seize all of Mercia not long after. In 918, the Anglo-Saxons continued farther into Danelaw territory and slowly gained more and more land for themselves. By the time of Edward's death in 924, the newly acquired neighbors of the Anglo-Saxons had all pledged allegiance to the king. This put the Anglo-Saxons in a confident position as Edward's son, Aethelstan, took over the kingdom. Around this time, Ethelton's sister would marry the local Viking ruler, Sitrick, who still controlled Northumbria. Aethelstan marched on and was finally able to bring the kingdom of York under his crown as his sister's husband passed away. This left Northumbria up for grabs, and the king swiftly consolidated it as part of his kingdom. This is generally the time that most historians view the Kingdom of England as having been created. But the situation was not exactly Aethelstan was not done trying to expand his kingdom however he could, and although he did term himself the King of the English at this point, it was still not quite what we know as England today. Aethelstan decided to give an invasion of Scotland a chance to see if he could reach his authority even further. The Kingdom of Scotland, or as it was known at the time, Alaba, was at a disadvantage against the English, and therefore appealed to the other remaining sovereign states for assistance. This prompted an alliance between Constantine II, King of Alaba, Olaf Guthrum, King of Dublin, and Owain, King of Strathclyde. With King Olaf at the helm, the alliance faced the English at the spectacular Battle of Brunanburh. Though it is unknown exactly where this battle took place, it is certain that the alliance was severely crushed by the English invaders. The casualties on both sides was disastrously high, but Aethelstan and the English were without a doubt the victors. It's believed by many that this clash may have truly solidified the unity of England and stirred up a new sense of nationalism and pride amongst the English people. Nonetheless, it didn't result in the incorporation of Alaba nor Strathclyde into the Kingdom of England, as both stayed independent. England, on the other hand, would have to prove its ability to do so. The Vikings, though temporarily defeated, would return to the young kingdom at the end of the 10th century. After Ethelstan's death in 939, the previously defeated King of Dublin, who was a Viking ruler, took immediate advantage of England's temporary instability. While King Ethelstan's brother Edmund took over the English realm, King Olaf swooped in to reconquer some of the lands that had once been in Viking hands. York was quickly captured, and a large chunk of what used to be Northumbria and Mercia was also taken, as he strong-armed the English into accepting this annexation. Ironically, when Olaf died in 941, and his cousin, who shared the same name, was transitioning to the throne as his successor, Edmund of England jumped on the chance to pay the Vikings back for the invasion. The following year, the middle chunk of annexed land was retaken by the English, and in only 2 more years, the Vikings were entirely pushed out of Northumbria. This essentially reunited England, since the territory was now all under Edmund's control. As ambitious as his ancestors, Edmund next invaded Strathclyde, but only took some of its southern territories by the end of the incursion. The rest was given to King Malcolm I of Scotland, as opposed to joining England. It once again appeared as though the Kingdom of England had established some stability, but this was once more short-lived. Edmund was mysteriously murdered in 946, which left his younger brother, Edred, as King of England. The next year, Eric Bloodaxe from Norway attacked and seized the recently reincorporated Northumbria, which prompted almost a decade of conflicts over who throughout the Isles would lead Northumbria. Eventually, the English king was able to once again and permanently reclaim the territory on behalf of England. His death soon ended his reign after this victory, and his young nephew Edward temporarily succeeded him, but was quickly deposed in favor of his brother Edgar. However, this was only a partial deposition, which meant that Edwig would still hold a small section of the kingdom as a co-ruler. When Edwig died only 2 years after this decision, Edgar simply took over the whole of England. Under the reign of King Edgar, known as Edgar the Peaceful, the true foundations of the English kingdom could finally be established. Many reforms were passed, and a vast number of the systems and laws that had existed in the Dane law were actually upheld in hopes of avoiding any displeasure from the Danish portion of the population. Peace, unity, and order were the pillars of Edgar's nearly 2-decade-long reign, and his work helps to fully solidify the unity of the young Kingdom of England. The ultimate foundation of England was a long and shaky process. From the initial immigration of the Anglo-Saxons into the region to the establishment of their first kingdoms, extending into the invasion and rule of the Vikings, it wasn't until the Anglo-Saxons began to seize territory from the Danelaw that an inkling of modern-day England could be seen. After a series of conquering, being conquered, reconquering, and so on, the Anglo-Saxons eventually united the existing kingdoms throughout England. From there, it was merely a matter of establishing solid borders, maintaining their captured territory in order to keep their kingdom physically solid, and eventually, under the rule of Edgar the Peaceful, building the foundational laws and structures of what we know now as the Kingdom or Nation of England.
Okay, so you say, why are you showing me this? Well, this right here, this the head right here. Everybody focusing in on America, but this is where the head at, London, England. That's where all the financial hub, with Esau ruling from a three front. You got this the financial hub right here, England, America, because remember, they came from England. They branched off from England. The colonies branched off from England. And then they got in a war, and supposedly they separated, but they ain't never separated. We're still dealing with this, these Edomites right here. But the world financial capital is in London, England. That's where the Rothschilds is. That's where it's all going down there. And so I've talked about it before. They have the throne of David, so-called throne of David here in England. And their objective is, just like they told the Most High in Malachi, that they was going to return. So that's what we're looking at now. They playing. They got an end time plan. That's what we're dealing with. they want to take this throne right here that's in Great Britain and back to Israel. That's their objective. They got everybody else throwed off and duped off, thinking that, you know, they focusing in on the wrong things because they can't went into the scriptures and laid you off down another road, gave us a whole nother savior and a whole nother end times, and that's what everybody focusing in on, not understanding what these people have done. All right, so some need to know information. Any comments on that? Everybody good? Okay. So with that being said, I was gonna go to the Q&A, ask Brother Leonard section. Anybody got any questions or comments about anything? Something they want to bring up? Okay. Well, I got something right here about that, man. It's a question that was posed online, and we're gonna deal with it over here. Okay. Okay, let me get out of this. There we go.
We have a couple questions I want to address with everyone real quick. This question from Nick D. Subject question, creator of the New Testament. Shalom, something was brought to my attention, and it's hard trying to get it out of my mind. I must ask you, who wrote the New Testament? Okay. I known for years that it was King James, and I thought to myself, King James isn't an Israelite, so he must have translated it. I also came across people saying the Bible is the white man's book, given to black people to keep them enslaved. I don't believe it, but it's hard trying to find the right things to say to educate them on the truth. Can you help me understand the truth? Now, this is a simple one because number one, the New Testament itself is a compilation, or the Bible itself is a compilation of many books and also letters. What we call the Tanakh, or the scriptures, the Old Testament, is a compilation of books. Biblos, I think it's pronounced that way, is basically library. It just means a bunch of books put together. Back in the day, all of the scrolls were separate scrolls. It wasn't like you had one big volume that people just open up the scroll and got a big volume. They were separate scrolls. Okay, separate scrolls. So the New Testament in particular with this question are simply letters that was written. The Gospels itself was a record. As you can see with the book of Luke, and the book of, Luke and the book of Acts was written to give a record of what happened with the apostles. You can see it begins by a salutation to Theophilus, who was a family member of Caiaphas, the high priest in Israel at that time. And so the writer was writing a letter talking about the account of Yeshua and what he did and such like. Okay? And what the apostles did in his name as students. Then you have the apostles that either they themselves wrote or they had their students write letters to different members or different groups in the Gentile areas in diaspora. So in other words, if Shaul traveled to a synagogue, you can read that with the letter to the Romans and Thessalonians and Galatians, and so forth. These are letters written to the diaspora Israelites who were in the captivity or lived among heathen countries. And basically, these men did not go out and set up any church. You will not see that Shaul or Paul went and built a church. And he preached, and then, you know, people came and flocked to it. You're not going to find that nowhere. What you will see is either if there is not a synagogue, they will go at someone's house, and worship there. And if that was too big, too small for the gathering, they would go to a river. That was always the practice of our people. Go to a river. This is why John was found where? By a body of water. Our people normally go to a place where water was, and there they would have a study. Okay, so I don't want to be too long-winded on this question. All right. So the New Testament basically was written by either again, there are letters written transcribed by the apostles themselves, documenting their journey, okay, or one of their disciples who recorded or wrote in their name and such like. As far as King James was given, the King James Version or translation came about because of the separation from the English government from Rome. See, the papacy was in control of all of Europe and pretty much the world. They used the kings of Europe to control the world. If the kings had to get married, they had to go and get permission from the bishops that were assigned to each province of the world.
Yeah, I just showed you on about England. These kings he talking about, the same kings we just looking at. They were dealing with England, the Saxons, and you see right here they was Edomites. They got a lot of people food on there. But any comments on that based on what we've talked about the New Testament and what he's saying? Anybody catch anything in that? Okay, one of the things is that he mentioned the fact that you know, all you see in the New Testament is letters, but the prophets and our forefathers had books. They weren't writing no letters, and so that's a dead cat on the line right there. And then he's trying to tie the format in the way that the New Testament is written and what's going on with that. He's trying to tie that in with the Old Testament, which is what he said when he first started was the Bible is a combination of I mean, the New Testament was a combination of books that was all garnered together from the Old Testament, and then he went off. But that's exactly what happened. They took our records, our book, the Old Testament, the Tanakh, and they used it and to create this bogus New Testament. They took stories out of there, situations and places, and that's how they created the New Testament through like I said, it's 4 to 5 different videos on Prophets of Awakening pertaining to that typology. Yeah, so I thought I'd slide that question in there. Nobody have any comments on it? Okay, and so this next one is, I was watching a video, I don't really want to bring it up, but the guy was talking about how the conflict that's going on right now with Russia and Ukraine and America and all that, how that is how it's playing out. And so gas is tied to natural gas and electricity and all that tied to Russia is tied to the European Union, a bunch of those European nations through Russia, especially gas and oil. And so if this conflict break out, then Putin is saying that he's gonna cut off their oil and gas. Well, the guy is letting you know that Israel is a superpower. You know, God said that. I mean, he said that on the video. Like I said, I'm not gonna play it, but he says that Israel is a superpower. You know, when it comes to oil and gas and all that. So Israel gonna take up the slack, and Israel gonna start. You wouldn't think that they had that kind of capabilities, but Israel gonna take up the slack and gonna start supplying all these countries with oil and gas. So we're saying that a lot of people don't understand it, but the benefits of if this all break out, Israel gonna benefit from it. Like I said before, I'm gonna read this right here, and then I'm gonna go on. Like I said, I'm trying to connect dots. So in the Ezra, in Second Ezra, in the Apocrypha, it was the second beast. I'm gonna read the first part of it. He says, Ezra had a dream about the fourth beast, and then the angel came to explain it to him. He says, "This is the meaning of the vision that you have seen. As for the eagle that you saw rising up out of the sea, it is the fourth beast, same beast Daniel talked about. It is the fourth kingdom that appeared in the vision of your brother Daniel, but it was not explained to him as I now explained to you, or have explained it." Right? So he says, "Behold, the days are coming, and the kingdom will rise out of the earth, and it will be more terrible than all the kingdoms that are before it." Right? Then he started talking about 12 wings, more of 12 wings, 12 kings will reign over it. And then anyway, it gets down to the end of it. And it says, you can read it for your own self. It's in 2nd Ezra chapter 12. It says, let me get it right here. It says, "In the last days, the Most High will raise up 3 kings, right? And they will renew many things in it, and will stress in many things in the fourth beast." We're still in the fourth beast. It ain't the four beasts. It ain't 5 or 6. It's 4. We're in the last one. We've been in the last one. And will distress the earth and those who live in it, and with greater oppression than all who were before it. This is why they are called the eagle's heads. For it is they that will bring his wickedness to an head, and will bring him to an end. As for you seeing the greater head disappear, one of them will die in his bed, but in torment. But as for the 2 that were left, the sword will devour them. For the sword of one of them will devour the one who was with him, but he will fall by the sword. And as for you seeing 2 heads, additional wings crossing over to the head on the right side, this is the meaning. It is these that the Most High has kept for the eagle's end, for their reign was short and full of torment. 2. You're looking at 2 right now, Russia and China. See, and their reign was short and full of disturbances, as you saw. And as for the lion that you saw rise up out of the forest, and speaking to the eagle and rebuking him for his wickedness and for his words that you have heard, he is the anointed one whom the Most High has kept until the end of days, who will spring from his prosperity of David and come and talk with them, and he will charge them with their ungodliness and rebuke them with their wickedness. Anyway, let me get back where I was trying to get to. It says, okay. Yeah, I skipped over. It says, as for you seeing the additional wing crossing over to the head on the right side. Okay. But I know I missed it up. What's back here? It says, it says, and I looked, and behold, one raised itself up and immediately disappeared in a second, and it disappeared more quickly than the first. And I looked, and behold, the 2 that were left also playing the rain. But while they were playing the rain, here it goes right here. Behold, one of the rested heads that was in the middle awoke, and awoke, for it was greater than the other 2 heads. And I saw how the 2 heads were united with it, and behold, the head turned with the ones that were on with it, and ate up the additional wings which planned to reign. Moreover, this head made itself master of the whole earth. That's what we're looking at right now. And like I said before, they hoodwinked us on who Esau is. And they got us thinking that Edomites disappeared off the planet. But when you read the scriptures, you see this in the end times, they play a major role in the end time. So like the guy was just saying, when Russia make his move, if Russia make the move to attack Ukraine, all it's going to do is break the head up. That's what I'm telling you about. Esau. He been waiting all along. He didn't want orchestrating all this behind the scenes. He's going to cause all these countries that he got us watching and listening, looking at Revelations, which is something they concocted, and all of a sudden, Most High prophecy going to come right at full blast in your face. And we're looking at that. Like I said, England is these Edomites. That's their stronghold. It's always been their stronghold. Okay? Any comments? Keep your eyes on that, No comments? Okay, we go into the lesson. The lesson is chapter 1, let me see, chapter 1 of Judges, and it's things that conspired after Joshua had died. I'm going to read that and then I'll break it down and close out. Okay, Joshua, chapter 1. Judges. My bad. Judges chapter 1 says, Now after the death of Joshua, it came to pass that the children of Israel asked the Lord, saying, Who shall go up for us against the Canaanites, first to fight against them? And the Lord said, Judah shall go up. Behold, I have delivered the land into his hand. And Judah said unto Simeon, his brother, Come up with me into my lot, that we may fight against the Canaanites. And I likewise will go with thee into the lot. So Simeon went with him. Let me shine a light on something, because like I said, it's just like JC a stronghold. This doctrine with the America is Israel is a stronghold too. So it says, Now after the death of Joshua, it came to pass that the children of Israel asked the Lord, saying, Where shall we go up against the Canaanites first to fight against them? So the point is this. Ham is the father of the Canaanites. So nobody disputing the fact that Africa is Ham's land. So Canaanites is in Africa, right here. So let's look at it. It says, Canaanites first to fight against them. And the Lord said, Judah should go up. Behold, I have delivered the land into his hands. And Judah said unto Simeon, his brother, Come with me into my lot, that we may fight against the Canaanites. So how they going to fight against the Canaanites if our land way over here? And we got the Atlantic Ocean in between the two of us. Think about that. So Simeon went with him, and Judah went up, and the Lord delivered the Canaanites and the Perizzites into their hands, and they slew them in Bezek, 10,000 men. And they found Adonizek in Bezek, and they fought against him, and they slew the Canaanites and the Perizzites, and Adonizek fled, and they pursued after him and caught him and cut off his thumb and his great toe. And Adonizek said, 70 kings having their thumbs and their great toes cut off, gathered their meat under my table, as I done. So God have requited me, and they brought him to Jerusalem, and there he died. Okay, so now here we go. This conquest of Judah. Now the children of Judah have fought against Jerusalem, and they taken it and smitten it with the edge of a sword, and and set the city on fire. And afterwards, the children of Judah went down to fight against the Canaanites that dwelled in the mountains, and in the south, and in the valley. And Judah went against the Canaanites that dwelled at Hebron. Now, the name of Hebron before it was Kajar. This is what I brought up before. Okay, this name right here, Hebron, is where David was at. It eventually became Jerusalem, but it was called this name right here, Kajar, or it's the name of a giant. In case you don't know that, Enoch tells you that. So it says, and they slew. Now look at this. They slew. I can't pronounce his name. Shisha, Ahaman, and Talmai. These are sons of this giant, that this city that Jerusalem was named after. I mean, that was the name of Jerusalem before they named it Jerusalem. It was the name of a giant, and the giant had 3 sons right here. They killed the 3 sons, right? Then 11. And from thence he went against the inhabitants of Deborah, and named Deborah before was, he got another name. This is giant right here. So these cities that they conquering have giant names of giants. And Caleb said, he that smitten Kajar Siva and taking it, to him will I give Asher, my daughter, to wife. And Onthan, the son of Kenai, Caleb's younger brother, took it, and he gave him Asher, his daughter, to wife. And it came to pass, when she came to him, that she moved him to ask of her father a field, and she lighted from off her ass. And Caleb said unto her, what wilt thou? And she said unto him, give me a blessing, for thou hast given me a south land. Give me also springs of water. And Caleb gave her the upper springs and the nether springs. Okay, it says, and the children of the Kenites, Moses' father-in-law, went up out of the city of palm trees with the children of Judah into the wilderness of Judah, which lieth in the south, to Arad, and they went and dwelt among the people. And Judah went to Simeon his brother, and they slew the Canaanites and inherited Zephnath, and utterly destroyed it. And the name of the city was called Hormah. You say, why am I reading this? Let me show you something right quick. If we go to Obadiah, this is prophecy in there that hadn't happened yet, but it's of major significance. Let me get it. Obadiah. Okay, Obadiah. Only one chapter. I'm in verse. This is the ultimate triumph of Israel. This prophecy ain't happened yet. He says, excuse me. He says, but upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions, and the house of Jacob shall be a fire. House of Joseph is Ephraim, a flame, and the house of Esau. Right here to show you Esau ain't been done away with. He on the planet. He ruling, matter of fact. It says, in the house of Esau shall be stubble, and they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord has spoken it. Now here we go. 19. And they of the south shall possess the mount of Esau, and they of the plains of the Philistines, they shall possess the fields of Ephraim, and the fields of Samaria, and Benjamin shall possess Gilead, and the captivity of this host of the children of Israel shall possess the Canaanites. See that? Even unto Zephorah. Now go back over here. This same thing happened when they first came into the land. When we come back and go back, we got the same thing has to happen again. So he tells you right here, verse 17 of Judges, and chapter 1, verse 17. And Judah went up with Simeon his brother, and they slew the Canaanites, and they inhabited Zarephath, same thing, and utterly destroyed it. And the name of the city was called Hormah. And also Judah took Gaza with the coast thereof, and Ashkelon with the coast thereof, and Ephraim with Ekron with the coast thereof. And the Lord was with Judah, and he drove out the inhabitants of the mountains, but could not drive out the inhabitants of the valley, because they had chariots of iron. And they gave Hebron unto Caleb, as Moses said, and he expelled thence the 3 sons of Anak, these giants. And the children of Benjamin did not drive out the Jebusites that inhabited Jerusalem, but that the Jebusites dwell with the children of Benjamin in Jerusalem unto this day. Okay, ain't that something? So, like I was saying before, when you these little bits and pieces of information what you're getting right here helps you connect dots when you start right divide what's going on in the end times, because all the Most High is doing is he's just, he don't change now. Like I said, we left Egypt. We went into Egypt, came out with great substance. We went into Babylon, came out with great substance. We're gonna leave here with great substance. So you just gotta be able to rightly divide all that. Okay. So we in the comments. Anybody got any comments on anything they heard or anything they want to get explained or they want to talk about before we go? Okay. Play this right here and then we're gonna close out.
Whoever stubbornly refuses to accept criticism will suddenly be broken beyond repair. Wise men store up learning, but the foolish will be destroyed with their mouths. Even fools are thought wise when they keep silent. The wise in heart will receive teaching, but a fast-talking fool will become nothing. Do not rebuke mockers, or they will hate you. Rebuke the wise, and they will love you. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore get wisdom. And with all you're getting, get understanding. The man who walks with wise men becomes wise himself. One man pretends to be rich, yet has nothing. Another pretends to be poor, yet has great wealth. To gain riches is wise. To pay for riches with happiness is foolish. The sated soul will trample a honeycomb, but to the hungry soul all bitter is sweet. All problems are people problems, and most people problems are people refusing to act like people. The lesser of two evils is still evil. As the water reflects the face, so the heart reflects the person. All the rivers run into the sea, yet the sea is not full. The spirit can bear any illness, but who can bear an ill spirit? Lazy hands make a man poor, but diligent hands bring wealth.
Okay. Okay, so like I said, tomorrow, we're gonna have a class tomorrow because I got some stuff I have to deal with, and then, but we'll be back here for Friday night Q&A at 8 o'clock. With that being said, I want to say shalom, everybody, and I hope you got something out of this. Shalom.